The military has warned that it will not allow miscreants to cause chaos under the guise of protest. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, while briefing newsmen today in Abuja, said intelligence reports revealed that criminal elements were using the opportunity of the hashtag #EndBadGovernance protest to perpetrate criminality. He said the military is careful observing the current situation in the country and will step in to provide the police necessary support if the need arises.
We have seen the level of destruction that has been carried out just yesterday. And so you can imagine if this continues for so long, the armies and the security agencies will not stand by and see that to continue. So we want to warn those that are recalcitrant, those that don't want to listen, that will not fold our hands and see our country to be destroyed. We will take action, and the action we'll take it professionally.
The CDS also appealed to media organizations not to grant the protesters excessive coverage as that will encourage more criminals to hijack the activities.
And again, for the media, I want to also appeal. I noticed throughout yesterday all the stations were hooked up to the occasion. This is not an election thing. Don't give them that coverage for them to feel, because there are some of them are looking for just moments of being on the screen.
In the meantime, the River State Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, has warned protesters not to allow hoodlums to hijack the protest. CP Disu said this when he came to assess the situation of the protest at the Federal Secretariat today. He commended the protesters for being peaceful.
If you think we are going to come here and have confrontation with you, you have failed. If you think that is what is your mind, then at the same time, I want us to know that we don't want you to block the road.
No. We are doing protest.
We stay here with you. Anywhere you want to go, we'll go with. I have walked almost everywhere in the country, but the level of cooperation I get from you, I have not gotten anywhere. So I thank you so much for the cooperation, and I look forward to more.
Meanwhile, one of the supporters of the nationwide protest against bad governance and hunger in River State, Peter Mazi, says he believes the protest in Port Harcourt will not turn violent. Mr. Mazi, who is also the Director of Communication in Social Action, told correspondent Subi Ruwari that the only time it will turn violent is when there is a counter-protest against their genuine protest. Mr. Mazi, while speaking on the turn out of protesters, also commended the police and the state for their professional conduct. Normal traffic has resumed along the Aba Road near the Federal Secretariat in Port Harcourt, where bad governance protesters had earlier barricaded, obstructing vehicular movement. Our correspondent reports that the protesters moved from the Federal Secretariat to Garrison and then to the headquarters of the Niger Delta Development Commission, DC. Our correspondent also reports that there was a heavy presence of security personnel. Some of the protesters spoke on the reason they decided to join the protest.
We've had enough of our leaders oppressing us. When they come out for campaign, they give us all sorts of promises. But at the end of the day, what we get is nothing to write home about.
Yeah, because one cheaper of yam is 10,000. One bag of rice, 100,000. Then one bottle of oil is 2,000 naira. How are we going to survive?
Because of the annoyance in us, due to the hardship in Nigeria, the skyrocketing price of things in the market, and there's no fuel, and the fuel is very expensive. That's why I see we are not here for power. We are here for a peaceful protest.
I'm facing hunger, I'm facing poverty, I'm facing so many things that I have 1 million reasons why I joined this protest. The system is not working. It's only for a few persons. The politicians are thinking that they own this country.
Another protester who's a lawyer spoke on how he has lost clients due to the economic hardship in the country. Other protesters say they do not need the government's palliative, rather they want the prices of goods to fall.
Over time, as a lawyer, it has not been easy. You take clients to pay money, they will not pay. Because they don't have. We will not sit and look. Whereas one man called Tinubu, one man called Ababio will decide for us. They will choose themselves. After Tinubu, another Tinubu will enter. They know themselves. Their lives are taking over this country. And we that are citizens of this country will not sit back and watch this happen.
Can you tell me and point out where the salvation is coming from? Where the masses, where the thing is going from? Tell me where the palliative is going. Can you tell me?
We don't need all those palliative. We don't need all those rice. All those things they are bringing. We don't need them. We don't need them. We want our phone to come down to the normal price.
Now, activities resumed in Port Harcourt as against the situation on Thursday when many areas were deserted. Around the garrison axis, correspondent Subiwa reports that businesses have resumed there. Some shop owners and traders were seen opening for business today at the popular computer village in garrison axis of the state. 2 shop owners spoke to our correspondent.
Yesterday, it was peaceful in this Ogunnabani, precisely computer village. There was a peaceful protest. None of our goods were tempered from any of the people protesting. We are still sitting by the corner observing the road for now, but I believe God everywhere is calm.
Like we normally display our goods outside, but we do not display it. It's a part of our own way of protesting. We are not afraid of anything. We are destroying it. We are not the government. Or rather, we are citizens passing through the difficulties. We go out and buy goods expensively. We could try to convince people to buy. Nobody will destroy our goods. We are part of the protest.
Elsewhere, the Kano State Police Command says it has arrested 392 persons suspected of looting the NCC Industrial Park during the nationwide protest on Thursday. The suspects were also arrested for looting the Kano High Court and other locations in the state. Kano State Police spokesman Abdullahi Kiyawa said the suspects were arrested with a large number of exhibits on them. Meanwhile, millions of residents in the north have been placed under 24-hour curfews amid the nationwide and bad governance protests. Governments in the states of Kano, Jigawa, Yobe, and Katsina ordered residents not to leave their homes and therefore not attend protests today. They say the curfew is necessary because hoodlums have hijacked it to loot and vandalize properties. Chairman of the River State Traditional Rulers Council, Eze Chike Walu-Wodo, has called on those protesting to shun violence. In an interview with newsmen, Eze Chike Walu-Wodo, who is also the Akpara IV of Akpara Kingdom, advised the youths not to destroy properties.
Citizens of this country, they mean well for the country. But if they don't take time in expressing their worries and all that, criminals and hoodlums will take over. And then what is being done meaningfully will turn to be bad. So I'm advising those who are involved to know that the peace of the country at large, the states in particular, cannot be overemphasized.
He also advised political leaders in Nigeria to listen to the grievances of the protesters.
Well, my advice to other political leaders in Nigeria is that we should put the concern of the citizenry at heart. If we are governing the people, we should know that without the people, there will be no governance.
We'll go for another commercial break, but still to come, Labour Party's Peter Obi calls for arrest, prosecution of those behind a threat against Igbos. Do stay tuned. The 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has called for the arrest and prosecution of promoters of threats against Igbos in Lagos State. His call follows a hashtag on social media asking the Igbos to vacate Lagos State and other southwest states. Mr. Obi has described the threat as deeply disturbing, saying immediate action should be taken to investigate, arrest, and prosecute those behind the agenda. Over that, the creators of the personal safety app known as the Now SOS app has urged students in tertiary institutions to be security conscious. The marketing manager of the safety app, Jane Lemuel, made this call during a one-day campus care program they organized at the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education in Port Harcourt. Ms. Lemuel said the awareness is to ensure adequate provisions to make schools safe while using the Now SOS personal safety app. She also spoke on why they decided to give out food items, toiletries, and other gifts to the students who participated in the program.
We are actually embarking on a program called Campus Care in line with safety for students and, of course, provisions of food items for students. So it's something that will be going from school to schools, creating safety awareness and, of course, creating a little provision for the students.
Ms. Lemuel also explained how the Now SOS personal safety app works. Take a listen.
In the app, you have to have 5 contacts, closest contacts who are always available.
When this app was introduced to this school, I'm so happy. And it encourages the students and us who study in the night.
You can be in a dire situation and then you need help.
We thought on how we recover our phones if lost.
Not just
Apologies for the mix-up. Take a listen.
In the app, you have to have 5.
Some students who attended the program also spoke on the benefits of the Now SOS personal safety app.
In the app, you have to have 5 contacts, closest contacts who are always available.
When this app was introduced to this school, I'm so happy. And it encourages the students and us who study in the night.
You can be in a dire situation and then you need help.
We thought on how we recover our phones if lost.
It's not just an app, it's a security app.
The program was in partnership with the school's chapter of the Non-Indigenous Students Association of Nigeria, NISAN. At least 50 journalists in the South and Southeast region have been trained on how to cover the technology and innovation ecosystem in the Niger Delta and beyond. The 2-day workshop, which ended today, was put together by a development and advocacy outfit known as Startup South Enterprise Development Ltd, GTE, ahead of its annual technology conference in October. Addressing the participants, the convener of Startup South, Uche Aniche, said the workshop will enable journalists in the Niger Delta to better understand the terms and tools of innovative technologies.
That we feel that a lot of people are not taking advantage of the opportunities that exist in technology and in the startup ecosystem, as it were, right? We felt that if the journalists and the media people understood this space, it should be possible to even expand and build the value that this space can provide. And so that's the essence of what we're doing.
One of the facilitators at the workshop and news manager of Nigeria Info FM Port Harcourt, Choma Ezenwafo, also spoke.
The ordinary journalist may not really understand the technicalities around it to be able to ask those questions. But the tech journalist will understand the implications and will be able to ask the right question and even know who to ask, which government entity to ask. And if it's a company, the company to call out, if it's a need to call out the company. To hold power accountable here is not just the government, but the tech companies. When we understand the landscape and the ecosystem better, especially for the South region and the Southeast region, then we'll be able to hold people accountable and how exactly to protect the rights of people.
The workshop is supported by the Innocent Chukwuemeka Chukwuma Empowerment Foundation. Now, let's take a look at the international scene.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
French authorities have opened an investigation into death threats and cyber harassment, targeting the artistic director of the 2024 Olympics opening ceremony, Thomas Joly. It follows the display during the ceremony that appeared to parody Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece, The Last Supper. The scene, which sparked fury among the Catholic Church, far-right politicians in France, and the religious right in the US, featured drag queens, a transgender model, and a naked singer. Let's take a look at what we brought you as news. On the news this evening, you heard the Chief of Defense Staff says the military will take over if the end bad governance protest escalates. Traffic has been restored after end bad governance protest barricade in Port Harcourt. 4 northern states have placed curfews on residents amid nationwide protests. Peter Obi has called for the arrest and prosecution of those behind threat against Igbos. On the foreign scene, France says it is investigating the death threats against Olympic ceremony director. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Kala Dakuru Batabo. Good evening. Do stay tuned. Conversations continue after the commercial.